We're recording. Paul gave us the thumbs up. This is the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fizza Dasani, and I'm here with...
Zahra Noorbakhsh.
Zahra Noorbakhsh.
It's not bad.
Zahra.
Do I hold mine like you?
You can if you want.
Just sit here like this?
You know, whatever works for you. I think you can do whatever you want, as long as it's not
like a hookah.
Making someone else bleed.
That's not what I heard. I heard that even then it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if it can be artistically justified.
Yeah, right. That's I think the bar.
We're making good art here. So moments ago, you were. I was gonna bring up the pap smear thing, but yeah.
Moments ago, we had great jokes that weren't recorded.
Yeah, Paul, I told you we were supposed to get our pre-show on. You're supposed to start recording before we even know we're being recorded.
All you have to know is they were great, and there will be callbacks.
There'll be callbacks, and you guys aren't privy to what they're referencing. So I wanted to fill you. I don't know. Zahra asked me to give her. She was brushing. Okay, we'll just tell him. Zahra was brushing her hair for the first time. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so you were brushing your hair for the first time in a week. Your hair looks gorgeous,
approximately,
by the way. But like,
Thank
who gives? You know, I don't care. I don't judge. Like, do whatever you want. Like,
okay, but you're sitting here with like gorgeous hair.
Okay,
and
I knew
and
we
a
were
leopard.
Recording. That wasn't looking like this before.
Which
no one
told me it's going to be on YouTube.
I mean, most of our listeners are listeners. You know, go watch us on YouTube if you're listening to this. Also, but it's most of them. I think Apple Podcasts is our biggest.
If you put it on YouTube, can we filter the shit out of it still?
Can we throw a Paris filter on it?
Yeah,
I think you only do 15 seconds at a time. Like, that would be very tedious.
Paris is the shit.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. That's just like it's.
Just give everyone Paris contacts.
You know, I wish we could have Paris filter on everything. Like,
yeah.
Why only for this 15-second Insta story?
It sucks. Can you imagine if grocery stores had like Paris filter on fruit? They would make so much money.
Oh my God, that
I wouldn't
fruit
know.
Is perfect. Not like the bruises would just blend right in.
I would just blame myself when I brought it home. I'd be like, no, it's not. Oh.
Look at its complexion. It's just so even.
As is mine.
Yeah.
With Paris.
But
what do you guys usually discuss?
Anything. It's sort of like round table style. So whatever topics on the table is what we discuss.
I'm an avid listener. I'm just testing you.
Do you really? Do you really listen? I don't know. Like I was talking to someone earlier today, and they're like, "Yeah, I was listening to your podcast." I'm always shocked when I hear someone's listening to the podcast. I'm like, people actually listen to this shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So last time we talked, before you were like, let me
telling you about my hair regimen.
There was you sent me an article.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that this existed until you sent it to me.
This article is hilarious.
So, it basically is from the Daily Cal, which is a student paper.
Yeah.
Is it Berkeley?
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like I should have done some research.
It's my alma mater.
Anyway, a lot of the overall, actually, it seemed like they liked the show, they enjoyed the show, but but it was very, mixed, and there was a lot of
There's a rad reveal about to come, you guys.
There was a lot of comparison, and
yes.
And okay, so I'm going to pause and rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Something that's been on my mind lately has been how women are always compared to one another. If there's more than one woman, it's always like, well, if for this person to be dope, someone else has to be trash.
Yes. Why don't we do that to men? Why don't we compare? Like,
I think it's with people, but it's especially with women. The internet doesn't like women.
Nobody compares men.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
I do, but I'm a manizer, so.
Who do you compare?
The side dicks.
What?
I just said the side dicks, but.
The side dicks.
But
see, but you already have a name.
You're changing the stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I'm changing. Okay.
No,
we want to build context first before we get into the weeds with our analysis.
So, did you watch the halftime show at the Super Bowl?
No.
I happened to like, I just wanted to watch, because I hate sports. I hate the sound of it. It's just, it's not for me. But, you know, like, whoever likes it, like, good for you, whatever. I don't give a, you know, like,
Yeah.
be happy, live long and prosper, whatever. But, like, I wanted to see the halftime show because that's a great production with a big budget. You know, they get, like,
Yeah, it's good.
top-notch talent. So it was J-Lo and Shakira. It was
Right.
in Miami. It was the first time it was sort of like this Latin takeover of this traditionally white medium.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed it.
Yeah.
They killed it. But like, even, I mean, I grew up in this society, so I'm conditioned with that compare and despair programming as well.
Oh.
So I found myself, like, we sort of look at things with a critical eye, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I went on Twitter and I saw there was a lot of comparison, and both women are just like gods.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
But and they enhanced each other's performance. None, I think, took from the other. It was just like, it was so beautiful. Like, I would suggest checking it out because it's a lot of women.
I saw clips.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, especially like if you know, sort of in their heyday, like grew up around that time. And I
Right.
feel like we probably did because we're like, you know, we're in our late teens.
Yeah.
Now.
I'm 17, yeah.
When people find out I'm a grown-ass woman, I swear to God, people treat me differently. There, I swear. Like, I get so disrespected, like, when I'm just when I meet someone for the first time with pigtails, and they're like, "You're what?"
You're 72.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
But, yeah, so that, and it happens with facial recognition comedy, too. Like,
Oh, yeah, I want to hear about this. I'm curious.
So, you know the flyers, the We're Not the Same Person, we have the 6 faces. We have, this happens all the time, but a recent example is we had Crystal Marie on our show, and hilarious comic. I don't know if you've met her.
No.
Well, you should at some point. We'll introduce you to. But, or maybe we'll put you on a show.
I want to meet
What are you guys doing Sunday? Okay, I'll book you later.
Yay.
But, so she's also a very, very beautiful woman.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know, it's part of her brand, like being just a sexy woman. So we had,
Mine as well.
yeah.
That's why my hair's not brushed.
I mean, I have a decent
All
score on
the sex.
WikiFeet, so like,
Yeah.
you know, these hoes better watch out.
Yeah. Watch out.
But someone went on her page after she posted the We're Not the Same Person flyer with her on it and was like, "You're the most beautiful and the funniest of all
yeah.
of them." And she shut it down. Like, she was like, you know, you don't have to put other people down to put, you know,
Yeah,
to compliment someone, and you can unfollow me. Like, she, you know, she was like a real boss about that shit.
Damn.
But like, she shut it down. But it's like, you know, like, I think I was having a good day, so I was like, whatever, you know, like, you roll your eyes at that. But it's just like, it's also, or maybe we're just desensitized to that shit. Other Zara's here. Come on in. So we started talking about.
Salam, Corbanes, Khubi.
So remember, like,
Hi.
on Crystal Marie, when she posted that We're Not the Same Person, someone was like, you're the most beautiful and the funniest. And she's beautiful and funny, obviously, but she shut it down. She was like, you don't have to put other women down to, you know.
I love that she does that.
I love it too.
Because I mean, that happens whenever she posts anything with a group of women. People are always like, "Oh, you're the hottest," and she shuts it down immediately because she's not about that.
I'm going to look her up now.
Oh, she's great. She has the best boobs in comedy.
She
Not
has
that
the
everyone
best boobs in
else's
the
boobs are
world.
not wonderful. But
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You know what? We all have the best boobs, but it's just, yeah. You want to see how we do this?
But like, her boobs are, you know, like, you just like, that is her thing. She's very out and proud about her boobs.
I am Crystal Marie. And she's so dope. She's come up in, like, when I went up, like, after her at New York Comedy Club, like, I have a whole riff based on her boobs. Like, she's the best. I mean, and she's so fucking. Oh wait,
Just
it's
follow
private?
her. It's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was private.
I want to see these boobs.
She's a genius.
She's wonderful.
You have to have people follow you to see your shit. I might
Yeah.
put my shit as private.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. What's up? What'd I miss?
So we were
Two Zaras on a podcast. This is great.
Yeah.
2 Zaras, 1 podcast, and 1 girl who looks like Zara.
How will you tell us apart?
It's just 3 Zaras. It's just 3 Zaras. That's
we're all
Zara.
the
or is
same
that
Merge
Zara?
you in.
Oh my goodness.
Fizzara.
We're just gonna hold them like this, like hookahs.
We can do whatever makes you comfortable.
I prefer
Yeah.
that. But you can do what you want.
This makes me comfortable. Lick.
Oh my god. So, did we already cover the controversial?
No, we
The
just
article
gotta
we're
do
just
it.
about to get into.
Oh,
We didn't
great!
even-
I
we're not
got
even
your
there
laying
yet.
the
time.
foundation for the reveal.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There was a review by
Sorry.
the Daily Cow.
Is that that's what it's called, the Daily Cow?
It's called
Daily
the Daily Cow.
Californian.
It's my alma mater, UC Berkeley.
It's
Oh,
Berkeley's.
it's your
yeah.
alma
Okay.
mater? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't. That adds
So,
a whole other layer.
Did they
'cause
come
I used
out
to go
just
there.
for you?
No, so that's a thing that's also unusual is that usually reviewers, and it was a review, or we're actually still not sure because it was not.
I don't
It
know what
didn't
it
read
was.
like a review.
It was a review in a student paper, and it was
It read more like a preview might, but then she inserted her opinion just to say what sucked.
Yeah, like it was just weird. It was really weird. And yeah, she did the thing where she put down the other women just to compliment Pallavi's set.
Yeah.
Pallavi had the best set of the night, and Zahra was cheeky and old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
And Suba and I were irreverent.
Irreverent?
Yeah.
Like,
and
what?
the least self-deprecating.
Yeah, and I was famous, but not. but I didn't measure up.
I want to like respond to her.
You have the
I
most
really-
name power.
I think my
I think
famous
you had the
most-
name power.
Yeah,
You-
I have the,
She
the
had
most facial recognition of all the
Zahra
facial
Noorbakhsh has the most
recognition.
name recognition.
It's because my
Um,
last name's the longest. It's 10 letters.
I mean, Ganal. No.
Which also
Do
is
you- I don't
hilarious
even- I can't
because your
count.
closer was like, is like a writer for Big Bang Theory. Like, you
know,
more
though,
name recognition
actually-
than me.
Well, yeah.
Suba
it's-
Agarwal is a writer for she's been a writer for the Jim Jeffries show. She writes for everyone. She is one of the best comics.
Wasn't she on an HBO show also? Like,
I don't know. I mean, like I don't want to call out anyone the best or whatever, but like
I'm the best. That's been established.
we've all been the best on different days,
Well,
you know,
also
and
that
we've all been the
night,
worst on
that
different
was
days.
that show is a sold out show, and everyone did well. So she was sort of nitpicking, like oh, this one moment fell flat, or like the energy. Like she was sort of nitpicking,
Yeah.
and then it was very. I've never read a review like that.
It was very irresponsible journalism. Because I've also been like in other newspaper articles where like maybe I didn't have the best set, and they're like, yeah, and Zahra Ali was there, you know, and that's it, and they left it at that.
No, but she
you know?
actually complimented, like, she's like, I think she complimented our 3 sets, but she was like, but they weren't as good
Miss
as
Pallavi's,
Pallavi,
you
who
know?
had a great set. And but she also, like, the next show, she hated her set. She's
Yeah.
like, literally said, I haven't bombed them. So what if the reviewer saw her the second show?
Yeah.
Like, that's what
And
And
the reviewer
I-
didn't know that there was a second show.
And I had a
That's
better
what was
set.
hilarious.
I had a better set the second show, you know, and it's like it.
I did better
comedy-
the first show.
And I had the
I don't
best set
know.
of the night, and she didn't cover that. The best.
And you're
But
just the best.
I don't understand, but like I do want to
Are
respond
we all
to her.
canceled yet?
No, I want to respond to this hoe and be like, dear hoe who came to our show.
Oh, that rhymes.
Yeah.
That should be a show.
Can we talk to students like that?
No, but I also
Zara
wanna-
loves calling young women hoes.
honestly,
How old are you
And
that
old
everyone's a
women,
young
too.
woman?
apparently I'm the oldest person on the show according to this article.
I died.
I'm like, what the like
Zara.
that's
That's
I'm the
awesome.
only one that like in that show I'm the only one that said how old I was, so she was like, she's the oldest person on the show.
No, I think I might have. Oh, I don't know if I did that.
I don't know,
joke,
but it's like, what? Like, wait till you're that age, you know? Like,
yeah.
one, I wasn't the oldest person on the show,
No,
so that's
I am.
irresponsible.
I'm the oldest.
But
I'm 39.
But I'm the one that was like actually I was like talking about like 20-year-olds being hoes and embracing hoe life.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
is something that happens in our society.
I just
you
really
know?
like knowing, though, that if you're a woman in comedy and you go up on stage and you say, I'm really old, then that's it. You've established you're the oldest for the night.
But I didn't say I'm really old.
That was what stuck with her.
No, but I
Yeah.
said I turned this many this year, this month. This is my
Yeah.
birthday month.
And she was like, oh, damn, you're old.
Exactly. So the college student at UC Berkeley was like, she must be the oldest one on the show because no one else looks that old, you know? But it's not even like,
You don't look old.
exactly.
You have
but
an old person's voice.
I
Like, I have a young person's voice.
have an old person's personality. I think that's what it is. Like I'm that auntie. Like I'm like the young old auntie.
You
like,
do
I don't
have
know.
like the young old auntie earrings on right now.
I do.
It's like pearl shaped.
I don't know what these are. I think these were a gift from like an older auntie.
She has
But
a
then-
blazer and it's hip though. It's
This
like
is
a leather
pants,
blazer.
leather and flannel. Like
your
I'm,
pants
No, they
are
look
all like
great.
torn and hot and sexy
guys,
right now.
whoever can see
Check
this,
out this
I'm
video
young
right
and
here.
hot and hip and cool and not old.
She uses TikTok.
I use TikTok. Come on now, go follow me on TikTok. Really, Zara, I need followers.
And she pays her taxes.
And yeah, I
Oh,
do pay my
damn.
taxes.
She's got it together, man.
Yeah,
You're
But
adulting.
Are you the best?
maybe
God,
I'm
you
just
the
the best at life. I don't know.
Who's the best?
My
You're
God.
the best.
Yeah.
But I do want to respond to her because she like quoted a punchline, and it's like you're not supposed to do that. But her being a student journalist, she doesn't know.
Well, she should know. It's the Daily Cal. I mean, it's a reputable
Yeah.
newspaper. It's the review. Like, there were a couple things that I enjoyed about the review in an ironic way. My favorite was that she used the most passive aggressive transition on the planet 4 times.
Which is
Despite.
yeah, she used despite.
Because
Yeah.
it's not in spite, like
Do we have
in
it?
spite
Can you pull
of.
it up?
I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, in spite of is the transition you use when you want to like talk somebody up.
Yeah.
In spite of a difficult audience, in spite of the difficult audience, in spite of the, the recent news, in spite of the political climate, this person rocked it.
Yeah.
But despite is the one that you use to be like, despite the fact that we thought she'd be awesome, it was crap.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, okay, so it looks like
And
her
she used it 4 times in 900 words.
her ending thoughts are, and this is, after a whole bunch of opinions
Yeah.
with despite
Yeah.
peppered in. It's an uneven night doesn't discount the strength of the performers or the promise of the group as a whole. After all, facial recognition comedy has been highlighted by multiple publications over the last 2 years as a group to look out for, especially because of its importance in highlighting diverse perspectives and creating a space for comedians to perform specific to their identities and experience. And though Friday night wasn't necessarily the best, wasn't necessarily the best showcase for all group members, fans can still catch the genuinely bright and funny facial recognition comedy online and on the road in the future.
Despite.
Despite. Yeah.
There it is.
Despite. Like.
It's 4 times, you guys.
Yeah. I mean.
There are 4. Read all the despites.
But you can pull a quote here, like, quote, genuinely bright and funny.
Boom,
There you
done.
go.
Genuinely. As opposed to.
Or here, let's see. While each of the concluding comedians had well-delivered, consistently funny acts, none were quite as memorable as Canolans, who had a great set. Like, her set was great.
Also,
But, like,
maybe.
I thought the whole show was fucking great. Like,
Is
it's
Pallavi here to comment?
we got to get her on the phone. She wants to call in. It's just, I don't.
We'll get her.
So here's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
thing.
so she's already left, you guys.
No,
No.
She's already, like,
Sorry.
going solo.
She's surpassed. She's gone solo. But okay.
No,
this-
she was pissed off too. She was.
Yeah,
she
you
thought
know
it was
why?
fucked up.
Rude.
Because when reviewers write shit like that, then you can't post it because then when people go to look it up, they're going to see all the crap talk about your sis.
Yeah.
And then when you try to like repost it for your friend to shine a light on your friend, people are going to click it and see all the shit talk about
I mean,
you.
this is just not shareable content. Like, we can't do anything
No,
with
it's
it, and
not
it's
for everybody.
irresponsible. Also, like this is very opinionated. It's an opinion. Like you thought,
but it's also
Pallavi-
oddly not, right? Because
Right.
like there was a lot of summary.
there was. So it's like, what is it? Is it a review? Is it your opinion? Like what?
I think
what
she
is
was
it?
just asking Pallavi out. I think that's what happened.
Maybe, but also like this girl has a South Indian last name, so maybe is she related to Pallavi the most, and it is her very. It is her opinion.
Why a lot of people- 'cause-
right?
Well, no criticism.
Maybe there weren't a lot of people in their early 30s in the audience that, like, during that show that didn't relate to my set. My set killed last night, whereas a bunch of 30-somethings
Oh,
in the
you
audience.
mean related
you
to
know?
it, like connected with it, not like as in
Well, that's
a
the
relative.
thing. Is
Yeah.
comedy is subjective?
Yeah.
Art is subjective.
Exactly.
So critics actually are in a position where there's, people don't
Yeah.
love critics because
Yeah.
it's like who makes you your opinion better
But
than anyone
also,
else's.
this girl
thought
is
you meant,
not.
like, what
this
if
girl's
she's
not an
Pallavi's
authority.
person?
Like this woman, this 20-whatever-year-old that's at UC Berkeley who has 233 followers on Twitter. She's not really an
Oh, God.
authority.
But see, here's what I
mean,
don't like
but
about
she's,
this, though.
also it's just like, she can have her opinion, and
Yeah,
that's
but the
also
thing is-
obviously.
I really think she just needs someone to like be like, hey, I know you're trying to be woke. Because I, like, looked at her Twitter. She always, like, tweets and
Oh, you looked
retweets
at her Twitter.
woke things. You know, she's really about diversity or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, maybe she just needs to be told, like, hey, what you did was not cool. Like, that was not inclusive. That was not
it wasn't.
showcasing excellence in our, like, diversity and our voices.
It
Like,
wasn't uplifting, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Like if you
you
overall,
put down other women. You
Yeah.
put down other women to make one woman shine. Like, what was the point of doing that?
Yeah, I mean,
You
Yeah,
know,
like-
why'd you turn it into a competition? Are
Well,
you
yeah,
that?
exactly.
You're
you
just you're basically perpetuating the stereotype that we're trying to fight, which is like we all have individual voices and no one voice like counts or is stronger than the other, you know?
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
voice has equal value, and the thing is, for her, she connected most with polity,
Yeah.
and that's great. And she could have said that, and she
Yeah.
could have expressed that. But
yeah,
why?
that should have been the center of
why
the article.
pitting-
Yeah.
Why pitting? You know,
Yeah.
why do you find like one comic had one moment where a joke didn't land?
Also, why did you quote my punchline and nobody else's? Like, clearly, you not
Yeah.
having a headboard really affected you.
Zahra,
You're in a fucking
Zahra
dorm
Ali's
room.
pissed.
I'm not expecting you to have a headboard, but you know, when you start dating out in the real world outside of Berkeley, go find a guy who has furniture.
That's
like,
why she's like, "What's a headboard?"
I'm giving valid advice. I
It's
don't
UC
know.
Berkeley.
I mean,
I didn't have a
Oh my
headboard
God.
for a while.
well, that's fine, but it's like I'm giving like.
I still don't have a headboard.
But
that's not even.
but
you
got
know this,
pigtails.
right?
That's
But like,
fiction.
what about guys? Like, so I have a whole bit where it's basically like my advice is like, this is what you should look for when you're trying to find a good guy. Usually, a good guy who has his shit together has furniture. That's all. Don't fuck a guy on a futon if that's all he has to sleep on. You know,
It rhymes.
I don't know. I'm
song.
about rhyming today. I'm just saying, like,
Don't fuck a guy on a futon if that's all he has to sleep
It was,
on.
it was just
well, it's like just
interesting.
be careful. You can't like expect a guy with a futon to give you like all of life's blessings and like share a future with him, you know. And that's like, I'm just sharing my experience
This
of like,
wisdom needs a beat.
I just like, I don't understand. Like, my whole point of view is like, listen, I've lived this life. This is my advice that I'm giving to you, and a lot of people just take it personally. In that generation,
That's
well,
so
don't
auntie.
they say? Don't
No,
they
no,
say
no.
that generation? What is it? Gen Z is
Gen Z, yeah.
is a little more. What do you, look? Zara's wearing a shirt that says, or Noorbakhsh is wearing the shirt that says "cancel to cancel culture." This is a.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm Noorbakhsh
This is
now.
like
a
Not
time-
even the OG Zara. What's happening?
Oh, don't get. I mean,
No.
oh, the best
You
Zara.
could just
Are you
call
the best? Oh my
the
God.
best Zara, the best Zara, probably the first Zara in comedy, and then like all these other hoes named
I
Zara came out of
probably
nowhere.
was.
Zara.
I think you were the first Zara. I think
The
you were.
first, actually, Zahra Faisal was the first Zara in comedy.
Is she still doing comedy?
I think she does comedic works, but she's also the voice of Miss Marvel now, I think, and amongst many other things.
Hey, homage! I love
Okay.
this shit. Shout out
All the
to
Zaras are killing
what's
it.
her name?
Zahra Faisal is how she pronounced it, the American way.
Okay,
Check her out.
cool. Yeah.
First Zara in comedy.
Technically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's
mean, if
been
we're
other
counting,
funny Zaras
I
throughout.
mean, I don't think it will be the
human
last
history.
Zara in comedy. There will be more Zaras.
It's a pretty name.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
we're only going to be alive for another 10 years.
That's what we were talking about before you got
Yeah.
here.
We're
It's
talking
not-
about Doomsday.
You've got 10 more years of comedy on the
But
planet.
see, that's good. It's just like then we're not going to be that old, you know? Like
Yeah, basically.
sort of.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool with 10 more years.
10 more years.
Go out on a high note.
Do you want a kid?
I mean, I don't know.
Is it worth it at this
This
point?
is a lot of conversation that we don't have time for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think having like
We
a,
have 10 years.
a normal kid, it's expensive to have a kid.
Oh, it's
It's
too
expensive to like have yourself.
It's like $1 million. Well, I think the last statistic I read was like maybe 5-6 years ago, where it's $1 million to raise a kid over a lifetime of a kid.
Oh yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
18 years, like yeah, up to 18. Now it's like,
I know, it's-
what? Are you kidding?
To like live like a middle class life in Los Angeles, you have to have a 6-figure income, like 100,000, I think,
Oh my God.
to live a middle class.
to live a middle class life in
Income,
San
yeah.
Francisco, you have to make $6 million a year.
Oh my God, is that true?
Yes.
So what about all the people who aren't making $6 million a year?
I'm
Credit
shook.
card debt that they're running away from. It's just
Wow.
like straight up Ozarks.
Oh
That's
my God,
basically
that's
it.
crazy.
Ozarks is
believe
just
it.
like a allegory for middle class life in the Bay Area.
Wow,
Just
That's
pushing credit,
insane.
just moving money. Just
that's insane.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel
doesn't
like
make any sense.
you had to get lucky. You had to get into real estate a while ago.
I mean, even
in
if
the-
you
in
did,
San Francisco.
even if you did, like now you got to be able to keep up with your insurance costs,
Yeah. Taxes.
cost of living, traffic, food costs. It's like now it's like
HOAs.
$20 for a sandwich, $7 for a coffee. Like it's
I could go for a sandwich right now.
yeah.
I'm
Really?
starving. I'm starving.
You-
Anyway, so
bread's
wait,
calling.
so you left San Francisco and now you're here in LA,
Yeah.
living the Hollywood life. How's the transition been for you?
It's awesome to break into Hollywood at 40.
Stop.
That's a great idea. You should do that.
So are you
Fuck
saying that
yeah.
you should try to break in at like another age?
Actually, really, real talk. I put off coming down here because I was like, I don't want to do the Hollywood thing. I don't want to live that life. I wanted to be a writer. I didn't want to be a performer, and I put it off for a really long time. And I wish I hadn't. I wish I just came down because there are so many communities of creatives that it's not like San Francisco is, which is what I call a single circuit system.
Mm-hmm.
In San Francisco, if you're a comic, everybody knows.
Yeah.
You're going to see each other.
Yeah.
Out here in LA, there are so many circuits going on at the same time. Subreddits.
It's true.
People are coming in and out of town.
Yep.
People are making it and moving to New York and coming back. Like, there's so many folks that you don't have to prove yourself to any one pocket, where in San Francisco, you did have to prove yourself to one pocket of folks. And if you couldn't prove yourself to that pocket of folks, then that was it.
Yeah, but I think even here there's some of that too. Like if you're trying to get into the Hollywood comedy
the
club
comedy
scene,
store, yeah.
that's like one. There's the comedy store. There's the improv, the laugh. There's
Which
like,
is, that's what my report on comedy is about.
yeah. There's like all
it's
different
like,
gatekeepers.
Which gate are you gonna devote
Yeah.
your life to? You know.
Or
Yeah,
there's the social
My
media gate.
sexy raspy
you know,
voice. Let me clear my throat off.
is that the flu? Is
Oh,
coronavirus?
Stay
Or
away
what's
from me.
happening?
What?
No, I'm back.
By the way, listeners, if I hear one more Corona beer joke about the coronavirus, I'm gonna smack a bitch because like that's enough.
There are
That is
Corona
enough.
beer jokes.
Everyone's like coronavirus, like just don't drink any more Coronas, you'll be fine. Like
That's so hack.
I've
That's
heard-
a dad joke if I ever
I've heard
one.
every rendition, especially during the
Don't
Super
even
Bowl
insult
yesterday.
dads.
I heard every rendition of Corona, the beer,
Damn.
with coronavirus, and it's over. Stop it.
Well,
You
it's
know
like one of
what?
those buzzwords in comedy where like everyone laughs when they hear it, like Corona, like virus. When people hear that now, they laugh, just like TED Talk or like
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
you know, there's like
Makes me
Just
laugh.
five
stop.
five buzzwords
totally
in comedy.
Oh my
Why did
God.
that work?
Pussy's still a word. You know, we all love pussy though.
I can't
pussy
laugh
forever.
at pussy.
I still can't
I
say
can't.
that word like
Me neither.
comfortably
Me
out loud.
neither.
I think
Oh.
it's because of our Muslim upbringing. We're very
that
we
why?
like our
I thought it was a
subconscious-
Persian thing.
Our subconscious censors us for some reason.
My
me
subconscious
guilt.
Must be why.
hurts too.
Really?
I don't know.
When you say
I'm
when you
sure
say
I've
that
been
word?
in therapy for so long.
my
I'm sure like
God.
there was some wall I broke, some hymen I broke to be able to say pussy.
We haven't broken the.
No,
pussy
I
hymen.
haven't.
Yeah,
we can't.
I'm
do
not
it.
sure if I've broken my actual hymen yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Work
find
on it.
out.
Don't,
Working
all
on
the
it.
dudes who ever dated you are gonna have to like act like they didn't if they never broke.
I don't know. I really don't know, honestly.
How come hymen isn't used as a metric more often? It's a great metric.
For
We're just a hymen away from.
oh my god, yes,
Right? That's a great metric.
That is great. You
We're-
should use
we're-
that.
you're a fucking genius.
So close to fame and fortune. You're a hymen
hymen
away,
away.
from fame. You're a hymen away from making it.
That's such a perfect explanation.
great.
I know exactly what you mean.
I
when you
gotta
say
write
that.
that
Just need
down
to-
'cause
you
that
just
might be
need
the
to get
title
through.
of the episode.
Just get through.
a hymen
Just
away.
need some good lube.
Yeah. You're hymen away from making it.
I think hymen might be a buzzword as well.
That pilot is a hymen away
Oh my god.
A hymen away
from
with
a Netflix
Zahra.
deal.
Oh, this girl's
Noorbakhsh.
review was a hymen away from being a good review.
Despite being an excellent summation, it was a hymen away from a good review.
It was a mixed review, I think. I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
even, it read like,
It wasn't even a review.
one half of it read like a baseball summary. So she came up to the Met,
Oh my god.
ready to play at the plate. Noorbakhsh hit and
You know, I'd love to have her
Mercy.
on the podcast.
I would.
Annika,
Actually,
come to
yeah.
the
You know, when I
podcast.
email her, let's have her on. So
Yeah,
we
we
can
I actually do
clarify.
want to talk to her.
I
'Cause
do.
here's what
Or maybe we can call her.
Do we want to
Oh, we
read
should
our
call.
portion of the Okay.
No, I'm
No.
not, because I've already yelled to everyone about it. She said I was cheeky and old and told everyone to get a headboard.
She
can't
told me I
breathe.
was famous.
I can't
so
fucking
I'm pretty
breathe.
happy.
Congratulations,
She
you're famous.
Thank you.
and she just like roped Suba and I into the same thing. We didn't even get our own sentence.
Hey, at least she didn't like burn your punchline,
Yeah.
and she didn't call you old.
Well, she said our humor seemed the least deprecating, so we're not here shouting our age out to everyone.
So
Yeah,
me
that's
just
that.
factually stating
No,
how
that
old
was
I am,
rude.
that
It
is
was rude.
deprecating. Like what the?
It was rude.
And also, mine
How
was
old
not
are you?
inappropriate.
33? 27?
Sure, let's-
52.
Sure, all of those, all of the
67.
above.
You're a hymen away from your 30s.
Our combined age is a hymen away from 200.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
40, 80.
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. You're never gonna know how old I am until one day I just shrivel up and die from a bad comedy review.
There were 4. Listen to me.
She called me
4
cheeky.
despites.
She called me cheeky. Is
Who
that
does
a?
that?
Hey, Paul, is cheeky a good adjective? How would you? Okay.
I'm going to translate one line. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
break it down.
Okay.
Because, okay, here's what happens is that for women in comedy, number one of the reasons why you guys are awesome and why everybody needs to listen to your podcast and follow you guys on tour and watch you on YouTube is because you do what I wish I had when I was coming up in the scene, which is you have decided as brown women who otherwise would be pitted against each other.
And we were
Right.
We still are.
well, all the time in this fucking article.
Exactly. You decided, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to try to cut each other down. We're not going to kick the ladder down on each other. We're all going to come up together because the truth is, if you don't find a community that's going to see you through it, you will get eaten alive.
And,
Yeah.
and people who can build a platform, we have a responsibility to build that platform and to
Yes.
extend it to our community because women of color, we have ourselves. That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
it. As we're one of the most marginalized
We
groups
are.
in the US.
We are
Yes.
marginalized, fetishized, like all those things. And it's really frustrating that like a lot of people don't see us as real human whole people.
Because there's no representation. How
Yes.
do they know? They don't know. They were just whatever
Yeah.
reference
Yes.
they've had in the middle of, Kansas City, which is in
Yeah.
Missouri. I heard Trump thought it was in.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah, he didn't know where
Kansas.
Kansas City-
Ugh.
The-
I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's called Kansas
There
City.
is a Kansas City in Kansas.
God, he's such an ass.
And there's a Kansas City in Missouri.
Oh my
He's
God.
just an
Why
idiot.
is the Kansas
That's
City
it.
in Missouri like shitting on Kansas City and Kansas? Like, no one knows about Kansas City and Kansas.
Everybody
Except
knows
Trump.
about Kansas City and Kansas.
This guy doesn't know
Oh
the
yeah, is that
difference
the Dorothy?
in
Yeah.
football, and he wants to throw Nuke City Run. Okay.
I
But
know. I
He
know, it's
doesn't know the
terrifying.
geography of his own country. So what makes you think he's going to know the geography of anywhere else in the world? Okay.
This is why I don't understand when people are like, you don't even know how you have to know the geography of a country before you're going to bomb it. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm fine with you not knowing.
Yeah.
Just throw those missiles toward Italy or something.
Oh
Like,
my
just stay away
Not
from
Italy.
my
We're
grandma.
not pro throwing
Stay
missiles
away from my
anywhere.
grandma. I didn't
Just
say do
not.
it. I just said
Oh, that's
aim
right.
for where you think it is, which is probably
So
going to be inaccurate.
Zahra Noorbakhsh, who's a human, has family in
What
that
about that?
country that
Iran.
Trump wants to throw bombs at. So think
So-
about that.
So have your family members had issues with like visiting Iran
They
or
can't
coming
come
here?
here.
They can't come here because
No.
there's a travel ban on Iran.
Yeah, they can't come here.
Have they tried to?
Of course,
has
yeah,
it-
because
okay.
I had a cousin who got into a master's program here. She can't come.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, that is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous because it. I don't know. I don't even know if it's like worth talking about because I think everyone's in agreement of how ridiculous it is.
Well, it's just like
yeah.
it's you hear about it and you like if you have any sort of empathy, you're like this is awful. But then also it's like we get so much shit news all the time, so much shitty news that we're desensitized to. You have to be to function. But like these horror stories are happening to people,
Yes.
and like we happen to know them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like that sucks.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
It does.
Yeah, I had a coworker. She's a Canadian and Iranian, I guess, citizen, and she's in America on a visa, and she's like a coworker of mine. And she was visiting her family in Vancouver, and then they wouldn't let her back in the country.
Oh,
So she was
what a
freaking
nightmare.
stuck in Canada for like 2 months.
Can't even go
Wow.
home.
She couldn't even come back to her apartment in LA
That's
to go
terrifying.
to work
They wouldn't let because she was on a visa.
because she was on a visa, and she's in addition, forget that she's a Canadian citizen. She's also an Iranian citizen.
Yeah.
So it was really
It gets
traumatizing for her because she's like,
Worse and worse.
I have a job. I'm like I pay taxes. I have real estate in Los Angeles. Like, what more do I need to do? It's
They
traumatizing.
recently, they've also started deportation of folks to war-torn countries. They recently took somebody who was not from Yemen and deported them to Yemen in the middle of war.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it was where was this person from?
The United States. They were a United States citizen.
That's like throwing someone in a meat grinder. Like, what are you
What?
doing?
I don't
Yeah.
understand. So if this person's an American citizen, why were they sent back to?
A random war-torn country?
These are unfortunately precedents that were set by the Patriot Act.
Wow.
I mean, there is no, it's completely wrong and criminal for them to do this. And it's completely wrong and criminal for them to, without due process, try U.S. citizens like this for denaturalization. And because of things like the Patriot Act, there is a lot in the way of due process that we are due that goes out the window on suspicion and on the claim that it's in the best interest, in the national best interest.
They can get away with a lot under this umbrella law.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And on
But
on the
also-
claim that it's in the favor of national security.
Yeah. But also, one of the things that Trump did when he first got elected and got into office was he completely debunked the UN. Like, he does not care what the UN has to say. So basically, the one party that can hold him accountable for international crimes, and
Aside from Congress,
which
is clearly going to do nothing.
yeah, it's he's basically debunked everybody. So it's like he's really just
That's
out here.
called a dictatorship.
Yeah, he's just out
folks.
here being a dictator, and
Maybe don't
I don't know.
make
He
that
doesn't even know
okay.
where the winning Super Bowl team is.
He doesn't
from.
know anything.
I would have thought at least that.
At
you
least
know what
know
I
some
mean?
dumb shit.
I don't think he knows where his wife's vagina is. I don't think he knows much, honestly.
I mean, we all
I don't
do.
want
no,
him
I- that
Hymen
was
away
me-
from
that
anything,
that
yeah.
was mean.
What?
I said we all do, and then I was like, why did I say that?
What?
He
His
said-
wife's vagina. I mean, it's on the internet. You
Yeah.
can go find it. There are nude photos of her on
So
the
basically,
internet,
what we're
but-
saying
I
is
didn't know
Trump doesn't
that.
know how to use Google.
He
That's
probably doesn't,
probably
honestly.
accurate, yeah.
He probably doesn't. He has people doing that for
Save
him.
Melania.
Yes.
Same.
Girl, blink twice if you need our help. Please let us know next time you're on TV.
Sardar, who was followed by Zahra Noorbakhsh, who, despite having the most name recognition among the comedians that evening, period. It's just a period after that. That's so weird. I just wanted to read that.
I want to
sentence
find
again.
the editor of this news. I just I don't
There's
know
more
how.
pressure when you're the best.
Okay,
And the
so
most famous.
I want to really figure out my approach,
Despite
okay? Because
your
I want
approach.
I need to email this girl anyway because she's quoted a punchline and I can't have that on the internet
Yeah.
before I
Oh.
do it on TV. So
I did not know that.
I mean, she didn't quote anyone else's punchlines.
But I didn't know about it being on TV. I didn't know that that's a thing.
Well, I mean, you don't want
You
to.
just don't want your material
I don't
burned.
want my
That's fair.
material burned.
I didn't
you know.
Yeah.
So now it's if people actually do come to our shows, they're gonna know that show, and that's annoying. You
Let's
know?
formulate an email because I planned on emailing her.
Yeah.
as
Then
well.
let's get her on the podcast.
Because
So-
I have a report on all of this stuff that she did not read.
Well, I'd love to hear her
That would've
perspective where
been a
she's
good
coming
idea.
from. She is
Yeah,
probably
so-
younger than most of us.
She's
So
younger than
it's,
all of us.
you know,
She's
that's
a
a different
student at UC
perspective.
Berkeley undergrad.
You don't know how old I am.
What'd you say, 80?
Well, she's definitely younger than me because she said I'm the oldest person. So apparently, me being however old I am that I say I'm on stage is unfathomable for her to understand as a real human being
oh my
with
god.
feelings and material.
I lost my shit when I saw that. I was like, you're gonna be very irritated.
but I do want to respond with kindness, but also I guess because she doesn't respond to advice, because she was offended apparently. So
Oh, that's true. That's
Well, it's
funny.
because my material is giving advice to 20-somethings, Bless
Bless
you.
you. Bless you. It is coronavirus.
Maybe it is.
Well,
How
I
many
just-
coronas have you
My
had
body
today?
just ejected it.
So weird.
Yeah. So
Doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
it's I mean, she's a person. She has an opinion, and I'd like to sort of level and understand where she's coming from. But it's just interesting that this was sort of her take from the show when the show is so
Antithetical to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that word, but I was like, I'm gonna put the emphasis on the wrong part.
I saw your face was like trying to form the A sound.
Yeah, thank you.
You were like, ah.
I appreciate it. See, that's why
Yeah.
you're the best.
Yes.
I'm the best.
She's the best.
But
best
The most
Zahra.
famous.
The most.
and the most disappointing.
the most.
You don't need to finish the sentence.
You're the you fell higher. It was
Oh
a
my
harder
God.
fall when you're falling from
Despite-
higher, baby.
Despite
She called it an uneven night. Oh my God.
that's
Look at
all
this.
stand up. All stand up is like that's
Ali's act primarily centered around her being one of the oldest comedians of the group, with the comedian cheekily offering statements of advice to the 20-somethings in the room. Quote, "It's 2020. Find a guy with a headboard!" Exclamation.
That's actually that's funny.
I think so, but
It's a funny line.
it's a that's exactly. It's a punchline,
But
and
when you front load it with good luck, it's just like she just front loads it
I
with
just
like
don't
so much
understand.
crap.
I don't understand. Like, why? Also, that is my joke, not for you to quote. Like,
Have you guys had that experience as comedians though, where you like have jokes that kill it?
yeah.
Like you have tested this
And you're like the audience bombed.
seriously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had that. I've had that a
who
handful
told
of
me
times.
that? I want to give credit to Maggie May for telling me about that. Like sometimes the audience bombs. Like, I
Sometimes
love
the
that
audience
term.
It's always
Yeah.
the audience.
Sometimes you'll hear comics like, "You guys don't deserve this."
They
No.
never do.
I mean, I've like
There's
sometimes
a relationship.
I will take
There's
the L.
an energy
Yes.
energy exchange.
Yeah.
I will
Yes.
always take the L.
I'm not bleeding
But like
energy for
when the A jokes aren't hitting,
you. Yeah.
or like when I come on stage and I'm like, "It's my birthday month. I just turned yesterday," and everyone's silent. I'm like, "Oh,
Yep.
oh, you guys have already decided you don't want to fuck with me." Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like that's rude. Like if some
Yes.
normal person is on stage being like, "Hey, it's my birthday," wouldn't the normal response be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, happy birthday!"
Yes.
Clap, clap, clap.
Well, I think now it's just like, what do we have? I just got married. I just had
Yeah.
a kid.
That's-
Those are the
yeah.
milestones now that we're celebrating.
That's when
apparently.
Yeah.
you've got an audience that's there to evaluate. They're not there
Yeah.
to have fun.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're not about having fun today."
Exactly.
like,
I
we're
know,
not-
like that's
you know?
supposed to be a word you hear when you hear birthday. You go, "Whoa!"
Yes, exactly.
Whoa!
Yeah.
She just gave you a chart, like like they're. What is wrong? Everyone's on Xanax. That's what it is.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna-
what I
Everyone is
usually
sitting on
respond
Xanax.
with. That's when I usually respond with, "Who died?" Like,
died? There you go.
like, was this a funeral? Like, I don't understand.
You
sometimes.
guys, I thought I came here for a TED Talk. What happened?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
I
shout
did at
out.
work. It
I'm
didn't-
gonna shout out New York.
Oh, okay. What's
I want
happening
to shout
there?
out New York because New York is a city that does respect comedy.
God,
Yes.
And it's a
thank
city
you,
that does
New
come
York.
out to have fun.
You're right.
I've heard
Thank you.
Chicago is similar
Chicago
too. I
is
haven't
dope.
done
Yes.
Chicago yet,
Yes.
but I'd
Chicago
love
is
to.
dope. I think the rest
Both
of the
those
country,
places.
outside of this microcosm of
Atlanta's
like,
good too.
Atlanta's amazing.
We're just listing every other city.
Every
now.
other city is.
Basically-
Jacksonville, great.
Well,
Gainesville
San
was awesome.
Francisco is a good city to do comedy in too.
Okay, do you know that
However-
San Francisco and Brene Brown told San Francisco to calm down? Okay.
Oh my god.
Brene Brown was like, enough with the vulnerability. Chill.
I mean, does San Francisco really have something to be vulnerable
Yes.
about?
Because San Francisco is the hub of white liberal racism.
Yes.
It's a thing,
Thanks for saying it. Actually,
right?
That is a real thing,
it's
and
a
I
real
felt that.
thing.
I
I
actually
need.
felt
I
that
want
in
to see
Portland.
that in writing.
I felt that
actually.
in
needs
Portland,
to be
actually.
talked about, spoken about,
That should be in the review.
and that's the type of shit where you come out and you're like, "It's my birthday," and they're like, "Well, we don't know about you yet."
Exactly.
I was so floored because it was marketed as my birthday show. Like people who came to the
Wow.
show to see me. It was like
Wow.
I had maybe like 25 fans in the audience. This was Brea Improv, so it's like right here. It's
Yeah.
you know like a far away suburb of LA. But yeah, like I come out as my birthday. The 25 people who are there to see me, they're like, "Yeah, happy birthday," and everyone else is just like silent.
They're like, "We don't know you,
Gross.
colored girl."
Exactly.
And I'm like, "What?" Like.
You haven't told us about where you're from and about your family and about your parents and if they approve
We
and
don't
whether
get
or
you
not.
yet.
I'm so
Mhm.
confused.
We don't get you. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why it is a steeper hill for us, and that is why representation's so fucking important.
Also, your guys' show and Minority Reports with Mona Sheikh are the only two times I've had as a comic where I get to come up to a showcase and test what it's like to not have to introduce myself and my whole damn country.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Mona for Minority Reports.
Yeah,
She had that show for a
Minority
while.
Reports has been a great show. But
Then
yeah,
I
it
get to
feels good.
actually test my jokes that
Yeah.
aren't just information.
Yeah.
They're just like your
Yeah.
bio.
Exactly.
Your bio data.
They don't need all the
Not good.
background and the context and that your parents hate you for doing this and all,
All,
like,
yeah, all
It's
the,
like you're a person who has an opinion. Can I
Yes,
just give you my
yeah.
opinion on shit? Can you give me the
Exactly.
benefit of the doubt that I'm not like
which
like
is why
Saddam Hussein?
because
Yeah.
with audiences in San Francisco, if you don't do that, then they get mad and they wait for it. And they want you to answer it first. And then they're like, speak to the tension that exists for me and identify it. And then I will roll with you.
yeah.
Thank you for saying that because that is a vibe that
Yeah.
I feel like people don't address.
There it is.
And it's just, and I think it is that it's the sensitive liberal.
Yes.
stuff. And I'm a very progressive person, but
It's
like
not
just this
a
oversensitive.
it's not just a sensitive liberal. It's like it's really like anyone who's like one, unfamiliar with comedy, or two, or just looking at you as an exotic person.
You can be familiar with comedy, but
So,
still
like-
have that expectation.
Like at
of brown
Brea
women.
Improv when I did it, it was all dudes. The headliner was Latino. So
Yeah.
I came on stage and they're like, who is this bitch? It was
Uh.
like, even though I'm saying it's my birthday and my name is Zahra Ali, they're like, no, let us know who you really are. Because I don't know if I should laugh at you or not. Because I don't know if you're a Latina or you're Indian. Like, I don't know what you are.
Yeah.
So once I said, like, oh, who I am and stuff, then they were like, oh, okay, now I can relate to her.
What
Like,
the
there's-
hell?
So
like,
to
there-
break them in.
I had to break them in.
Why
but
does
it's
that
like,
even matter?
But I don't, for some people,
There's
it matters.
extra
They-
subconscious
they-
wall.
Hold
that you
on,
have
let
to
me
break.
get
Yeah.
on my bias
they
glasses.
need to know who you are. They need to know your like ethnic background
Yes.
in order to like relate to you or assign like a specific like identity to you. It's very weird.
So
Yes.
maybe that's what it takes for their guard to go down for you to
Yeah.
be able to connect with them.
Yeah,
So
it's like when an Uber driver just out of nowhere asks you where are you from? No, where are
Yeah.
you really from? Like
Mm.
they just want to know who's in their car. It makes them feel
Yes.
better
yeah.
for some reason. Like
I'm going to say there's
don't
a
know.
difference between them wanting to know and them demanding to know.
yeah.
Because it's not like you're not handing them a bomb. You're not like starting out with insult comedy. You're saying it's your birthday.
But this
And
is all,
they
That's
have
the
no
first
reason
time
to
I
have their
was-
guard up.
I was offended. I'm like, what? It's my birthday and no one. Okay, you
This
guys
is what
are
I'm saying is
you
mean.
called them out.
I did.
In my
Yeah.
report on comedy, I talked about how for those of us who are people of color or people who just look different than, the average cisgendered hetero white male, we have to establish context, identify a shared context, and then we can generate anticipation, nail a surprise, and see what the impact is.
And if that's not steeper than what, like that is much steeper.
Exactly.
That's a lot more steps.
That's a lot more steps. But then you see white guys get up on stage and it's just anticipation, surprise, set up, punchline.
I was watching Pornhub last night.
Anticipation,
and
surprise.
everyone's like, oh, man,
Exactly.
I watch Pornhub. I got a Pornhub. I'm like, oh my God.
Exactly.
What?
So then people watch that and they go, "Oh, that's tight. You're fast. Those are punchy jokes." But really, they don't know the other work that we're doing.
the
Yeah.
weights that we're carrying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That slow down a joke. So then you get idiot reviews like this that are like, "Oh, it was a mellow response." And it's like, say what it is. It's racism.
Well, the first
Yeah.
show was sold out and did really well. So
Yeah.
I mean, which is
It was, but I will
was
say, like,
surprised. What
the
do you-
crowd was tight. Like, the
well, it's
crowd.
San Francisco.
I mean,
Well-
also there was you got this too. Every time we said white boys, they would go,
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah, they were awing for stuff that was weird. I think I got an awe for like something about like going to an orgy.
"Yes."
Yeah.
Aw, like poor,
Yeah.
poor little
Hey,
poor
if you're
little colored girl at the orgy. She just wanted to tell jokes.
if you're coming to a comedy show, your response to anything said on stage
Pity there.
should never be, "Aw." No, none of that. None of that. I've had a few of those.
It's a way of putting us in our place.
You know what's hilarious though? Like a bunch of us kept hearing the "aw," and then Pallavi said during the first, she's like, "Oh, I didn't hear it. I don't know what you're talking about." And then during the second show, she heard "awes," and
There it
she said she had the worst set she's had in a while.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm like,
funny.
"Oh, bitch, you heard it now? Like, now you know what it feels
we
like."
should call her.
You know,
Let's call
but
her up.
whatever. I was like, I mean, it's crazy to me that like people say "aw" during comedy shows.
it's pity. And pity is a way of
Also,
putting us in our place.
If you're gonna bring your white boyfriend to an all brown girl show, don't feel bad for him that we're making jokes
know why
about
they
white
do that.
people.
You know why they do that? I think
Right.
actually maybe you told me this. So,
I
but
love hearing you deconstruct this because this is like, this is very insightful.
the reason why they do that is because, and I see this happen to women in comedy all of the time. You've got women in the audience who are there with their dates and they don't want to be implicated.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to identify. They don't want to act like they identify with what you just said. And it happens with body comedy all the time when people are like really ratchet and the women in the crowd don't want to be associated with that because they're with some dude and they don't want to look ugly.
Yeah.
So then they pull away like, oh, I don't understand. I don't get your joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as women or as comics, we have to be vulnerable. We have to, like, we can't sit here and be like, oh, I'm fucking fine.
You did like like you also have experienced this. The women pulling away because they don't want to be implicated.
Oh yeah.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
This happened to me at one of Mona Sheikh's shows, one of the Minority Report shows. She had an all Desi girl show. So it was a bunch of older Pakistani and Indian couples in the audience, and half the comics, actually no, all the comics bombed before she went on stage because none of the women wanted to laugh with their husbands there.
There you go.
They were all and it was weird because I think the month before she had done a show of just like all women were invited and they had the best time ever. So it's like, women, especially women of color. I don't know if this is all women of color, but like from what I've seen with like Arab women and Persian women and South Asian women, they feel a certain type of way when they're with their date.
Oh, we got to burn the patriarchy now.
Yes.
So
it's ridiculous.
So we don't have to do push-ups to tell like basic jokes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, we should be able to get up on stage and we should be able to make these jokes without having to carry the weight of representation all of the time.
And I mean, that's such a larger thing. Like that could take generations.
Well, and the funny thing to me is that like now white men are having to do it, and they're like, "What is this? It's this extra work. I don't want to have to do this. What do you mean impact?"
Welcome to our lives. Welcome to all the work we've been doing forever.
Yep.
And longer.
And longer, yeah.
Should we? I think we have 8 minutes.
Yeah, we should call Pallavi.
Do you want to dial her in, Paul?
See how it's going on her solo
Paul,
tour.
you know we're seeing your DMs pop up on the.
Oh, good.
Well, let's read.
God.
Let's read
fun?
hers. Should we?
Well, yeah, she got a stellar.
She
review.
got
We should read her glowing.
a stellar review. The South Indian girl who was giving us a review.
Oh, you guys weren't wearing your headphones. Am I the only one yelling?
Oh, we have to wear our headphones?
Well, just to hear the
For
call.
the call, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's cue it up. Despite her placement right in the middle of the lineup.
Which is like middle of the lineup is a
That's
great
what does
placement.
that mean?
That's we're warmed up and not
This is
tired.
what goes to show that this hoe does not know anything about comedy. Being in the middle of the show is the best spot.
Despite.
Pallavi Gunnalan managed to garner the most laughs of the night.
She had her little counter. She was just clicking.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
Easily.
Despite. She had the best spot.
Easily coming away as the highlight of the show. With a charismatic and unabashed delivery, Gunnalan balanced self-deprecating humor and snarky punchlines at others' expense, tackling topics such as aging and her
self-deprecating for
Paul.
Pallavi is good. Self-deprecating for the rest of us is irreverent. Like, I don't understand.
Well, it's just like
she did it in a balanced way.
Oh,
she
okay.
connected,
It's
like, so
balanced.
the writer connected with Pallavi, and
Yeah.
that's great, and that's fantastic. It's just, I think.
I mean,
at
that's the goal
expense-
of what we want. We want everyone to make a connection with who we are. Okay, just because you don't make a connection with the other 5 women on the lineup does not make us bad comics.
No,
you
this
know?
should have just been,
Well, she said, like,
emerging comic, Pallavi Gunnalan, like, highlight. Just talk about the comedy and what you connected to.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like, I mean, she even said here, this sentence is sort of, I think, sums it up. That while each of the concluding comedians had well-delivered, consistently funny acts, so that's like saying, hey, the comedy,
Concluding comedian. So you and Suba, mine sucked because I'm old and I told her to get a headboard.
No, we're in the same group. You, me, and Suba are the last comedians. She separated you as being older than us.
Fuck it.
You're a Hymen away from 40.
Oh my God. I am not a Hymen away from 40.
A 40-year-old Hymen.
Holy shit. I have a long way to
am.
go.
What if I say this? I, Zahra am a hymen away from
No,
40.
you have to say which Zahra, because there's two of us on here.
Period.
Zahra Noorbakhsh is a hymen away from 40.
I didn't say that in my sentence.
But okay, so just to finish the thought, she said each of the concluding comedians, I think it was me, you, and Suba, she said it was well delivered, consistently funny, but none were quite as memorable as Ganalin's. And that,
In her opinion.
yeah, and it's just the way things were worded. I think it is antithetical to the mission of
Yeah.
what we're trying to
Yeah.
accomplish, and it's not what she's saying is not uncommon. This sort of perspective, and that's why I was like, well, maybe
Well,
she's
I
younger.
mean, she is
It's-
younger. She is younger, and
this is
she's
societal
subconsciously-
conditioning.
236 followers.
she's
I don't-
233 followers younger.
I mean, I don't want to shit on the
Burn.
girl because it's like
Actually,
I do want to get her on the podcast.
I
but
mean, why can't I shit on her? She shit
you
on
can
me.
do whatever you want.
I
You
think
can do
I
whatever you
deserve
want,
to
girl.
shit
Fair.
on her.
That's fair.
I'm not
I
trying to
deserve to
control
shit on
anybody.
her.
No, you know what? It was because I remember when you were first doing that and I was like stopping you. And then now in retrospect, I realized that I was pulling in on behalf of all women.
Yeah.
Right? Like we shouldn't behave like this as women. But you're right. Like you should have agency to respond the way you like to respond to things.
Totally.
And you
Yeah.
do amazing roasts.
That's true. I do have a roast battle tomorrow.
You're a roaster killer.
This is like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
this is your riffing. This is how you feel
I
right
mean,
now.
yeah.
She put her opinion out there, and you're
I'm in
giving your
roast
opinion
mode right now.
back.
I'm in roast mode right now. I like it's
Dive in, do it.
You know, it's fine.
But the point is
that
just
the
like,
South Indian girl related to the South Indian comic
well, you can
on our lineup, the best.
you can celebrate someone without shitting on
Exactly.
other
And
people.
you don't
That's
have to like, put down people because they're older than you.
Paul, you
know?
want to dial her
Like,
in? Oh, she isn't. All right, so maybe she's not
She's
available.
on her solo tour, you guys.
She is. This article has propelled her career to stardom.
She's ready to go.
Pallavi is out there.
She's already left the group. Look
Yeah.
at what you've done, Annika.
There's already
Damn.
like dissension. It's gonna happen.
the group up, girl.
It's gonna happen.
Nah.
I'm gonna respond. I'm
Can't.
like, you broke us up. Pallavi has now left the group because of this article. She took it to heart. She thinks that she has a market of South Indian girls in liberal schools around the country.
She's gone. Because you know how
She's
many
gone.
of those there are. Yeah.
They're in all the schools, yeah.
But
Yeah.
she actually, she was actually disappointed in the review too, because
Yeah.
it is going
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
everything. And also, it's just like that was happenstance because she did not like her second set.
Yeah.
So what if the reviewer happened to
Yeah.
catch that one?
Yeah.
And so it was.
I
Just,
wish this reviewer caught my second one.
I'm glad they didn't. Cause
I
I, didn't,
mean,
I like the
also,
first show better.
You're not supposed to
I wish-
review
But I
a
feel
show
you.
that
I
hasn't
wish this
asked for
reviewer
it.
caught my set last night. I wish she could have just caught any of my roast battles where I want, like it's
and then
not.
stay for both of them if you really want sort of like a
Yeah.
thorough.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
Roast
3 different
on the
comments.
gut.
Well, how does this
Roast
work?
on
How does
again.
this work with press? Are they like supposed to tell you that they're
Yes.
covering you?
Even college. Well,
So
yes.
she didn't tell us. Like I didn't know she was covering us.
Well, we should
As
reach
far
out
as
to
I know,
Sketchfest and ask because maybe
That's a good
she
idea.
went
Yeah.
through because Sketchfest would
She
be
might have,
sort of
yeah.
where she
Yeah.
would reach out to
I don't
before
know
us.
how that works.
Maybe.
But I've
we don't
never, I've never seen anybody offer up a review without contacting me first and saying, "Oh, I'm coming to review your set."
I've never had anyone quote me before without telling me they're quoting me on a
Yeah.
publication. Because I would never allow a punchline of a joke to be quoted.
Well, I guess
So,
this is the difference
it's a-
between maybe a student publication.
It's a student publication, so
Yeah.
that's fine. But like,
But it's not fine.
it's
or
rude.
maybe that's why it's not written like a real review. Maybe
So
that's
this-
why it's written like an article. or
This is
something?
I don't know. But then she's also
Weird.
shitting on most of the lineup. So I don't know. But I
Yeah,
got to
I get
figure out how I'm gonna respond. I want to respond in a nice way, but also like in a very matter of fact, like, hey, this is not like responsible journalism.
You're a hymen away from responsible.
She's more than a hymen away from responsible.
But yeah, definitely invite her on. We can get her
Yeah.
on the call. We have Pallavi. Oh, good.
Yay.
Pallavi.
Hi, what's
Pallavi,
up?
what up, girl? We're talking about
You
the
are
article.
the best. You are the best comic on this article.
Oh, great.
Despite there
I'm just gonna hang
being
up right now.
So
You're the
many
best.
despites.
No,
You
it's
are the
just I think
best.
we were the main thing we're talking about is how you can celebrate someone without shitting on other people. I think that's been like the main theme, and
Yeah, it's totally whack. Like, it was crazy that they ranked us. I was like, this is insane.
You're
What are
not the best. Okay, so I'm not the best, and you're not the oldest. You're the best. So you win by default, I think.
Wait, what?
She said I was. She said I was the oldest.
I know when I read the article, I was like, Zara's not going to be like this girl's going to get it. Like she does not
I
know
can't
what
wait.
Pandora's box she just
I
opened.
can't wait.
I
It's
want-
gonna be
I
fun.
wanna hear the
I
rose
appreciate that overall the review was like it was generally positive, so that's good. Let's keep that coming. But also like like every person, she was like she just compared each of us to each other, which was not the point. And I've heard people before say that we've kind of set it up to be compared, and I'm like, are you not
No,
paying
that's not
attention
right.
to the tone of the show at all?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think society set them up to compare us. This
Yeah.
is just, this is just the climate that we're in.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and
if
we have
they're
to call it out.
if they're comparing, that is their conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, anyone.
yeah.
For instance, anyone who is comparing Shakira and J-Lo's performance at
Yes,
halftime
that's what
during
we were
Super
talking
Bowl,
about, yeah.
like
That's you.
that's a you issue because they were both very evenly amazing.
And they enhanced each other's
And
performance.
they
When they
did.
came out
But
together, that was iconic.
I do think that sometimes it like undermines and it gets into people and then they get insecure and then they feel competitive with each other because that's happened.
Mm.
I think even like within our demographic in entertainment, right, is that people have felt competitive, but it's all these like outward pressures. So you just have to like stay secure and stay confident and not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then, well, that's the thing is like we're pitted against each other, but women of color, all we really have is ourselves as
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
allies. So it's just,
Oh, that's rough.
so we have to,
We have to reach out to her. We have to fix her now.
I think we
Oh,
do,
yeah,
but
and
like
she's a
how do
woman
we?
of-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's
but
just
I'm trying to
hearing-
figure out how to do that in a productive way.
Well, first do your roast because I want
and
to
not
hear
put
it.
her down. I don't know.
Well, it's just hearing
I
her
just-
perspective, and it's
yeah.
leveling. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get where you come from. Can you get where we're coming from?
Where
type
you're
of-
coming from is bitch. Where I'm coming from is different. And I'm trying to understand
But also,
it.
she's coming from like a 20, 21-year-old perspective, and so maybe my jokes did not hit her demographic.
I
or
looked her up. She's 52.
whatever it
No,
is,
I didn't. I'm lying.
So it's like and she doesn't know. It's just there was so much wrong with this article, and it was so uninformed.
Yes.
So.
I mean, yeah, I think it's an opinion article, right? It's just like her college.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's a
Oh,
review or
Is
if it's
it
like
an
a.
op-ed?
We don't know
Do
what
you know
it is.
It's actually the only person who does the best gets to advance further in comedy. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
So
Is that why you're on
you
your solo tour?
You have to
Is that-
quit or whatever.
She broke out. She's
She
not.
broke
Yeah,
out.
solo tour.
That we also came up with new metrics.
Oh yes, spill it.
Wait, if it's boob size, I'm out.
Nope, nope. It's way more nuanced.
It's a hymen away.
What?
We feel that hymens should now be a new kind of metric.
Oh yeah, that means like horse girls are gonna lose immediately, right? If it has to be intact.
Well,
No, no,
that's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying. Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
it's like a unit of measure.
It's a unit of measure.
Like you're
Oh,
a
as unit of
hymen
measure,
away.
like one hymen.
You're a
two
hymen away. Like I was a hymen and a half away from being the best comic of the evening.
It's a very precise measurement, but
That means I
you
have
had a
no
little more.
hymen.
You had a little
You
more
broke the
hymen.
hymen.
A little more hymen.
You broke the hymen, Pauline.
Broke the glass hymen.
You
Is
broke
that
the
it?
last hymen. For me, they were like, that girl already has broken her hymen. What is going on? I heard she was a hoe, and I didn't get what I wanted.
Well, people kind of shit on critics anyway. We were talking a little bit about this for just being critical of something that's subjective. So, but I mean,
if it was written with that level of nuance that we could then
Yeah.
appreciate it, yeah.
but yeah, that's.
I think we
gotta get
also-
her on the podcast.
Yeah.
gotta get
Ooh,
her.
that'd be good. Could we also use each of our names as different units of measure? Like instead of kilometers, say like Zara's. You know what I mean? Or
But
like
which
Noorbakhsh.
Zara?
Well, we could say Noorbakhsh's. Go by
Noorbakhsh's.
last
Are we
name.
talking about our height
Versus
or our,
Ali's.
or our name
Yeah.
recognition?
Her name
I don't know, 'cause,
recognition.
like- Because I have the biggest last name, so most name recognition, easiest to spot from a mile away.
That is hard to decipher.
What if that's what she meant?
What does she mean by name recognition? Does she
What
mean
if
that
she
you're the
didn't
most
mean-
famous?
Yeah,
or-
she didn't mean I was the most famous. She
Oh,
just meant
yeah.
I can see her name from a far distance,
It's on a sign. It's so
Oh,
so many
yeah.
letters.
from 7 leagues
Zara's the
away.
most-
I can spot
Zahra
her last
Noorbakhsh
name.
is the most well known.
Yeah, because her name is the longest.
Despite.
I think it's just because of
Noorbakhsh.
how many people have podcasted in the White House. I think that's why.
There you go.
Yeah,
Boom.
true. You win.
That was her
What
metric.
up? That's a good metric. I
pretty dope metric.
am so many Hymens past this review.
Are we though?
Oh my god.
Anyways,
Oh
I
my
think the
God.
show was dope.
It was
and
great.
Great.
It was great. It was a great night. And I think the fans were great. We had some weird experiences. It was this review, and there was this dude who came up to me at the end of the night.
Shut
Pallavi,
up.
do you know about this?
Really?
No.
Yeah,
This
you were there
dude-
for a second. I gave you a quick update, but you had to go talk to
Yeah.
your friends. But
This dude came up to me at the end of the night
I think you were there too.
after the second show, and he was like, so one of the girls that came on the show with you guys last year, did you fire her? I hope you fired her because she wasn't that funny.
Fire?
And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like, we don't fire anyone. And, comedy is subjective. So if you didn't think she was funny, I mean, we think she's funny. And whoever it was, like, we don't fire anyone. We're a collective of South Asian women. And whoever can do the show, they can do the show. So she'll probably be on a future show at some point. And he was like, yeah, but, like, she wasn't funny. She was making fun of India. And I'm like, half the
Oh my
comics on
God.
this lineup made fun of India tonight. So I don't really know.
I did.
Yeah. So I think
I mean, I think
Like
I think,
Russell
like,
Peters does that quite
Yeah.
often.
But
and
there's
people
like there's
think-
definitely like backlash from like from it within like Indian fans or whatever. There's like if you go against India, if you go against Hinduism,
oh, that's
there's
creepy.
like giant backlash. Like our friend Neil Nanda has experienced that before, where like Indian
Wow.
people have like come at him the hardest for like making jokes about it because they can't not they like take themselves too seriously.
That's
you
fucked
know?
up.
I got
Nobody-
dragged on the internet when I did like this thing for YouTube that this guy has a bunch of viewers for not knowing who one of the Indian freedom fighters was. Because we're not taught that in public school in Florida, you know?
Bitch, we aren't
Yeah.
even taught American history
I know.
properly.
Yeah.
Like
Our
nobody
president
told me about
doesn't know
Tulsa,
where
Oklahoma
Kansas
until
City is.
recently.
Okay, our president doesn't know where Kansas City is. Why are we being held to a higher standard
But
than
it's
our
just,
president?
it was a lot of
There you go.
Indian people like from India
Yeah.
that were so offended. So offended. and
Can
just
we
wish-
ask these Indian people about American history?
And do they do any of that
Honestly
to
though,
guy
honestly,
comics? Do they
Zara?
do that to brown dudes? No.
Yeah.
Honestly, they know a lot, so we shouldn't go down that path.
They, you know what? No, they do know. I will say, yeah, they
Like-
know a lot, but like they don't
don't
know
expect these
everything.
things of
flaunting
the
their
boys.
better
I know, nobody knows
educations in
everything,
our
but they do know,
faces.
like, I do feel like they're better educated than we are in like elementary school. Like I
That's
went
for
to
sure.
India and I did comedy there, and they knew what Utah was and stereotypes about it, and I was like,
Oh,
that's
that's funny.
insane.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because they also watch American television and
That's
American
true.
movies.
That's
and
true. But they
stuff,
just
so
do
they
know
have that.
more about us than I
Yeah.
think we know about them.
That's interesting. But I also think it's less to do with who knows what and more to do with like they're gonna hold women to the standard but never men.
Oh, that too.
They don't go
I
after
don't
the
know.
boys like
People
this.
need to be able to joke about their own shit.
People
Like, they
love
should.
policing women. Everybody loves to shit talk a
Yeah.
woman.
How do you guys feel, and we probably have to wrap up shortly after this, but I'm very curious how you guys feel about, like, do you feel like now we're getting a bit more representation, but it's mostly men, right? It's mostly men.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they need to start being more supportive and giving platform to
Yes.
the brown women,
Yes.
or just, be on the wrong side of history and get called out first before they do it, you know?
No, I think
Like,
Very
what's gonna
loaded
happen?
presentation of the question.
I think
Just
I
try
think they
their
are.
attempts.
I think they are. I just don't think that they have the exposure to all of us yet.
Yeah, it might be
Yeah,
a
But
sensitive
fuck that.
time.
That's their job.
So I think they want to, and maybe we just flood everyone's inboxes with submissions. Honestly, like all these guys who are like touring the country. Like I know Aziz has been taking out more Indian comics with him.
What's
and
up,
stuff like
Uncle
that.
Russell?
Yeah.
What's up?
So I don't know, but I mean,
I know all
forget
those guys.
Russell. Russell's like opening. He's doing Madison Square. He's doing 20,000 people arenas.
What's
but,
up, Russell?
But these other
That's
guys,
all the more reason to do it.
but like these other guys who are doing like club tours and stuff like that, like why not have?
Why not
someone else?
Madison?
all of
Why
them.
not bring,
Yeah.
Listen, I will tell you why all of them are in a position to do it. They have no consequence.
That's true.
If we get up on that stage and we do badly, it will 110,000% be on us.
yeah.
And no one is going to tell them, oh, you shouldn't have done that, and so I'm not going to come next time. They're going to write to them and be like, why didn't you fire her? And,
Or they're gonna come to another show in the future, and be like, "Did you fire that person?
Exactly.
That sucked?" And I'm like, "What?"
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is not going to land on them. But
Yeah.
it has a huge impact on us, whether we do badly or well, to to have that opportunity.
Oh my
That's
God,
why,
can you
like,
imagine?
I've recently
That
been
kind of
doing the
audience?
thing where I ask male comics if I can open for them rather than female comics, because I think that female comics generally do try to lift each other up and take women on the road. So now I'm just being more like audacious about asking male
Nice.
comics. I'm like, yo, can I open for you? Because that way it'll like
I
open up
love
another.
that. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to write a review about this podcast and about how I felt that despite an hour conversation, Paula B's moment right there was the best.
What? You didn't like my coronavirus joke? Oh my God.
Despite your
Oh, God.
old coronavirus joke.
All right, let's plug our shit.
Oh
And,
my God.
let's plug
I
our
hate
stuff.
everyone. I hate everyone. I hate you all.
You guys, I had so much fun.
This
Uh,
was fun.
Yeah, this is the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. Go to facialrecognitioncomedy.com to find out what the fuck we're up to. We're also on the socials, Facial Recognition Comedy and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. And
Come to our show next week.
yeah, we got shows and shit. Do you guys remember when our shows are?
February 9th, West Side Comedy Theater, Santa Monica, 9 p.m. Come to the show. This is going to be a
Oh.
good one. We have some New Yorkers. We have
Oh.
some out-of-towners visiting.
So Santa Monica, we have our Santa Monica show, our monthly Santa Monica show, but we also have a show in Hollywood for all the people who are scared to go to the West Side.
Yes, at the Laugh Factory on Monday, the
Oh,
17th.
is that the one you just booked me for? Sweet.
Monday the 17th. What time's our show at the Laugh Factory? 8 p.m.?
I'll
I think
tell
it's
you
8
right
p.m.
now. No, it's a
No,
little bit later.
9:45.
Yes,
Is it 9:45?
9:45.
Oh, it's a later show. It's a 9:45 p.m. President's Day, Monday, February 17th. Come, because I know none of you all care about the president. So just come.
You can find me and all my name recognition at zahracomedian.com. ZAHRA comedian.com. There you can also find my report on comedy through the Pop Culture Collaborative if you want to learn more.
I would love to.
Check it out.
Cool. I'm also Zahra. And you
A
can.
much older Zahra.
No! I am several hymens away from whatever. Oh my God. I hate
If you were
everybody.
to measure the difference between like our age
There's
and,
a lot of hymens. Okay.
and 40,
This is Zahra Ali. You can find me on all the socials as really Zahra, and Zahra is spelled the same as the other Zahra on the podcast today. It's ZAHRA. That's me.
Paula V.
I'm Paula Vegan-Allen, PALLAVIGUNALAN. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, and my website.
And I'm Fizza Dasani, FIZAADOSANI.com. Do white dudes have to spell their names out like this? Like all of us are sitting here spelling out our names.
That's
Even our
true. They could. They
Why do you
just get
think
to
we're
be
so good
like.
at spelling bees? This
You're
is why
right.
we dominate.
You're right. They could just be like, I'm Brett Favre. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Isn't that true? Like people will go Google it to
There-
spell
yeah,
that
they
shit
can
right.
Google
I'm Kyle
it.
McLaughlin.
No one, people book me on shows and don't Google my name to see how it's spelled, and then like I'll get pizza on the flyer.
Yeah.
One of the girls
Stay
who's
pizza
done
dis-
our show, Melissa Shoshahi,
Yeah.
she has this great joke just about the comedy community, but she's like, if you spell my name right on the flyer, I'll promote it.
Nice.
Like, it's
That's
pretty
real.
easy.
That's
It's
the
real.
bare minimum.
Duh.
All right. Well, I
All
might
right.
have a date.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
get it.
snap.
right.
Fizza's gonna get rid of the hymen.
No,
All
I
right.
don't know. I
Okay.
don't know about all that.
All right, cool.
I gotta go be single, so.
Enjoy. All right, bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.